morning, everybody. It is almost, yeah, probably, babe. Hey, cover yourself up. It's almost noon and my kids are already stir crazy. But I figured since everybody's home and bored and has nothing to do, like myself, I would make a video of my favorite drugstore products. A lot of them most of them I'm wearing right now, not all of them, because I didn't think about making this video until I'd already had my makeup on. I was like, shoot, why not? But anyways, I figured I would sit down and just show everybody my favorite drugstore products. I'm wearing a huge sweater right now. It literally takes up this whole screen. Okay, so I'm gonna try to go in order. I don't have a favorite drugstore primer though. I don't have a favorite drugstore primer because I don't really use primers. I use moisturizers. So you can just use whatever moisturizer you use right now or whatever primer you use right now. I don't really have a favorite primer. I don't feel like primers do a whole lot for me. I don't think I honestly have any. If I do, they're buried and I don't know where they are. But anyways, okay, so first we're going to start with foundations. I have a couple of them. Okay, so we've got, I don't know why I shook it as if I'm about to use it. I have the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, and then the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation. I think of the two, this one's probably my favorite. Well, I don't know. I think this one's more full coverage. Anyways, it's pretty much a tie between the both of them, but I've been using this one pretty much every single day because it's super full, doesn't sit on my lines and here on my forehead. It lasts like all freaking day long. It doesn't budge. I could probably sleep in it and wake up and it would look the same. This one's pretty much the same too, I think, from what I can recall. So yeah, these are my two favorites. They're very, very cheap. I think $5 for each of them, maybe $6 or something like that. I'm not really sure. Super freaking cheap though, and I use them all the time. I use my drugstore stuff more than I use my high-end stuff. My high-end stuff I try to save for like special occasions, as if I really have a lot of those. The whole gang is in here right now. Because we're all just bored and hanging out together. But yeah, these are my two favorite drugstore. Super awesome. Super cheap. For concealers, I've had a couple favorite drugstore concealers, but this one really takes the cake. I've been using it for the last couple months. Pretty much since I ran out of my Shape Tape, because let me see. Hold on. Hold, please. Never mind, I thought I had my Shape Tape here. Anyways, I was a firm believer and lover of the Shape Tape by Tarte. And then I follow someone on Instagram and they were talking about how this is like pretty much a dupe for it. And so I tried it and was like, holy crap. And now I'm obsessed and I haven't used anything ever since. Anyways, it's the E.L.F 16-hour camo concealer. It's basically the same kind of packaging, like the real thick, bulky with the huge applicator. Mine's really messy. That's the only thing well, actually the Shape Tape packaging was really messy too. Either way, it's an amazing concealer. It's like $5 or $6 at Walmart or Ulta or wherever. And then they have the dewy one too, which honestly I don't see a huge difference. I do. This one's a little more moisturizing and it doesn't dry down as much, but it's still really full coverage, really beautiful. These are my two favorites. I have like a million of them. And I don't know why. I buy one of these pretty much every time I go to the store because I'm like scared to run out, but they don't run out that fast. Like there's so much product in here. So those are amazing. I'm obsessed with them. Some people don't like them. I think I've heard that people don't like the 16-hour because it's too dry. So if you don't like the 16-hour because it is too dry on you, try the moisturizing one, or it's called Hydrating Camo Concealer Satin Finish. So try this one. I feel like you'll like this one because this one is very moisturizing. Okay, so I have a couple different powders. If you're more of like a loose powder, I don't bake. I will set my under eyes with a powder, but I don't bake with it anymore because I've just kind of discovered that it's way too dry. Like the skin on your eyes is just so thin, and if you put too much product on it, it can really cake really fast. And I started to notice where the under eyes were really starting to cake on me when I was baking. So I don't bake anymore. I just set with a fine powder. And I have a couple different favorites. One's a loose, one is a pressed. So the loose one is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. And it's super, super fine, like very, very finely milled. And it's not dry. You can't tell because I don't have like good light. Story. Anyways, it's very finely milled, very smooth when you put it on. You can't see, I've got crap all over my hands. And it doesn't dry out my under eyes. So when I apply this, I don't use a sponge, I use a brush like this. That just kind of fits right under your eyes. This is very, very dirty. And I just tap a little bit on my brush, tap it off, and then put it under my eyes. And just, yeah, make sure I get all the creases and stuff, and it looks beautiful. Another favorite of mine, which is a compact, and this is the one I carry like for touch-ups and stuff. My hair is so crazy. Probably. Anyways, this is the one I carry around with me all the time, and I've repurchased like a bajillion times, is the NYX HD Finishing Powder in the shade Banana. Yeah, and it's just like a yellow-ish powder. It doesn't look super yellow when you put it on, it's just kind of brightening. So if I don't use a loose powder, Story, chill. So if I don't use a loose powder to set my under eyes, I'll use this one. It's a compact one and it's really beautiful. Just tap it in there, do that, and I use this for touch-ups. If I'm starting, my circles are starting to show, I'll use this. Put a little bit underneath my eyes and I am just brightened up and ready to go, you know? And then once I've done that, I will set my whole face with a compact powder. I have a couple favorites. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how many favorite compacts I had in the drugstore. Okay, so one is the Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder, which is just like an amazing go-to. It's so cheap, so good. But it's really full coverage, really beautiful, sets the face great. I have no issues with it. Another one is the Maybelline Better Skin. That one's but maybe this one's the more satin one. Either way, they're both really, really great. Super full coverage. This one I think is more full coverage, but they're both really, really good powders. And then another one is the NYX. And this one has a little bit of a sheen to it, I feel like. Not like a dewy sheen, but it has like a sheen. Once you put it on, it's the NYX Stay Matte but Not Flat powder. I went through a bajillion of these too. Like a bajillion. If you have really dry skin, I would probably shy away from using as much powder. I don't have particularly dry skin, so I don't really have an issue with using like pressed powders and stuff, but a lot of people don't care to use a pressed powder, and that's just whatever you want to do. Also, I'm not sick. I am. No, you're not. My kids aren't sick either. When the weather goes from 70 degrees to 50 degrees, like which it's been doing the last like 2 weeks, it'll be like freezing one day, then hot, then freezing, then raining, then dry. Then my allergies and my sinuses go bazonkers. That's not a word, I just made it up. That's how crazy it is, it's bazonkers. So if you hear me and I'm all nasally and stuff, that's why I'm not sick, I promise. So the next step is bronzer. And I have a couple favorite bronzers too, and I feel like I'm kind of sticking to the same category here, or not category, the same couple of brands. I seem to have a pattern of what brands I like. So my two faves for drugstore are the Wet n Wild Bronzer Bronzer. And all my packaging is very beat up and tore up because I love it. It's very, very well loved. This is the Wet n Wild one in the shade Striptease. I could probably afford to get a lighter shade for when I'm more pale. Like right now, my face doesn't match my neck very well because my spray tan is fading. What?
Can I turn on the robot?
The vacuum?
Yeah.
This is the darker shade, I think. The lighter one is... I can't remember what it's called. Anyways, this was a really beautiful, very smooth powder. I have a combination of this one and the other one on today. But this one's very, very beautiful. And it's more of a, it's not as super warm. This one's a little more neutral. So if you're fair skinned, you can get away with using it. I just tend to find that a lot of bronzers, especially drugstore, tend to be very warm, which I can get away with when I'm more tan. But there's some people that are more fair skinned that just can't wear a warm bronzer. It just looks orange on you. So this one's a little bit more neutral looking. And then my other favorite is the Milani Baked Bronzer. And I don't even... They don't have these at Walmart, and they don't have them at Ulta, so I don't know if they changed the packaging or if they don't sell them anymore. Either way, they might be online, I'm not sure. Anyways, it's the Milani Baked Bronzer, and this one is a little bit more warm. It's very, very, by the way, they're both shimmer bronzers. I like a shimmer bronzer. I don't usually wear matte bronzers. I'm not a huge matte person. So they both have a shimmer to it, but this one's a little more warm. You can kind of tell, and this one's a little more cool. So depending on your skin tone, you probably like this one better if you're cooler, and then this one better if you're warmer. Either way, they're both beautiful. What are you chewing on? That's my cord. Yeah, anyways, both beautiful. I love them. I'm obsessed with them. I've been buying this one for years. I don't venture out on bronzers very often, like at all. It's not something I dabble in. If I find a bronzer I like, I use it. Oh no, she's here. She's discovered. She was a skater boy, she said see you later boy. He wasn't good enough for her. And now he's a superstar, so living on his guitar. And to better what she's worth. So anyways, my favorite blushes. I forgot to pick the other one out of my drawer, but you'll get the picture. A couple of my favorite blushes, still I'm doing the same brands, like over and over again. I'm sorry, I love what I love. Anyways, one of my favorite blushes that I've been using for years and years is the Milani Baked Blush. And I just kind of go between colors. I don't have like I think the staple color is the Luminosa, which I do really like. I'm out of right now. This one I think is, I don't know. It's really old. And the shade fell off. This is like Berry Amore or Rose d'Oro or something like that. Anyways, very beautiful, very shimmery, very smooth. I love them. I'm obsessed with them. And then another blush is the Wet n Wild blushes. This one is not my color right now. It's way too pink. I have another one somewhere, and it's like a rosy color. Anyways, it's the Wet n Wild Color Icon blushes. This one's very pink. It is not something I use all the time, but I have a different shade that's more rosy, but just as beautiful. They're both very, very beautiful. I love these both. I'm obsessed. Like literally, like I'm obsessed. Like I cannot live without it. And then after blush is when I do highlight. And I only have one favorite drugstore highlight because I don't really dabble in highlights either. If I find one I like, I stick to it and I don't really venture off. So my favorite highlight, once again, is from the brand Wet n Wild. They really like, when I was a kid, Wet n Wild had like all the weird sparkly makeup that like it was just to play with, like for kids and stuff. They've really stepped up their game. I mean, their stuff is very high quality, like really good. I have this one on today. I don't know if you can tell. You can kind of tell. There we go. Yeah, right here, and on my nose, and on my chin, and blah blah blah. But yeah, it's super beautiful. It's almost gone. I have a new one in the bathroom. Probably should have grabbed that one for viewing purposes because this one's not cute. But this is the shade. I don't freaking know. All the shades are worn off. It's the more champagne-y shade. Precious Petals. Precious Petals is what it's called. It's so beautiful. They have a more gold shade, and then they have like a pink shade too. They have a couple different shades of this. It's what I discovered a couple years ago is it's pretty much the same. What? It's basically a dupe or pretty much the same thing as the Champagne Pop by Becca. I think I have that in here somewhere, and I discovered like they're basically the same. Anyways, it's freaking beautiful. It's like not super vibrant. I mean, it's like it definitely gives you a highlight, but it's not one of those really blinding ones, which I do like a blinding one, just not every day. It's like a certain occasion thing, but this one's super beautiful. And I use this every single day too. This is like obviously my everyday highlight. I have a couple high-end ones that I love. I just don't use them every single day because that's expensive. Okay, brows. This actually is my favorite, not even just drugstore, just in general brow product. I do love the Benefit Precisely My Brow, but it runs out so fast. Like literally I discovered that I went, what? PJ Mask? Okay, hold on. Okay, sorry. Stella wanted to watch something. What was I saying? Oh, the Precisely My Brow. I love it. It's super creamy, super easy to use, but it literally only lasted me 1 month. Like 1 month to the day. I usually end up going back to the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. And they have, actually all their brow products are really good. I just prefer the really thin tip pencil one. So I can draw those little hair like strokes. I use the shade Taupe because I'm blonde. You get a little bit more bang for your buck with this one, and it's just as beautiful. Just as natural looking. It's what I use today. It's actually what I use every day. And yeah, this one's great. It's beautiful. I love it. I'm obsessed. I need to stop saying that. I'm not obsessed. I'm not literally obsessed. And down, I guess I should put shadows on here. I don't really have a favorite drugstore shadow, but an affordable shadow would be the Morphe palettes. Actually, hold on. Oh, here it is. Okay, so Morphe shadows, they're not technically drugstore. They're kind of like that in between, but they're still super affordable and super amazing. I really don't buy high-end shadows because I always feel like there's... I do have high-end shadows. I have a couple of the Anastasia palettes. Anyways, the Morphe ones are good. This is one of their like little mini palettes, which I really freaking love because it's like so multi-purpose. And if you travel or whatever, you're going somewhere and you don't want to bring one of the huge Morphe palettes because their palettes are huge. They're these huge, which I still will bring this, like these palettes with me because I just love them. You could get these little travel ones that they have. And they're super cute. And the mirror on them is huge. Oh my god, hi. But these are really good palettes. This is pretty much all I use every day. Yeah. Another good affordable palette brand is BH and Colourpop. Colourpop sometimes has palettes in store. They don't have their whole line in stores, but sometimes they'll have the palettes in stores. But Colourpop has really, really, really good shadows, and then BH does too. Not all of them. It's one of those that's like hit or miss things. I mean, that's with any brand, obviously. But like BH and Colourpop have really good palettes. I have a Colourpop one in here somewhere as well. Somewhere. And then I've been told that the new Milani ones that came out are really good. I have not tried them because I have a bajillion eyeshadows and I cannot justify buying another palette. But I've heard those ones are really good too, and I believe it because Milani is amazing. They're amazing. Look at my little baby back there. Look at her. They're so bored. I feel so bad. Anyone else having this issue? Like, I'm not doing the whole homeschooling thing because I don't do that in the summer, like when they have a summer break. So I'm like what? I'm not letting them just sit on their like devices all day. I do let them get on them because like what else is there to do? It's raining outside. There's been tornado weather. It's wet. It's nasty. Can't go anywhere. So let the kids be. Let them play on their tablets. Let them do what they got to do to entertain themselves. Liner. Okay, so I don't usually stray away from my... What happened? What happened? Uh-oh. Okay, anyways. Eyeliners. I don't usually stray away from my Kat Von D eyeliner. That's like the one I've used for 5 or 6 years. I've been using the Kat Von D one, but hi.
A robot?
Yeah.
A robot?
Robot. But if I do have to use a drugstore, I will use this one. And I'm not obsessed with it, but it does work really well. It's the NYX Epic Ink Liner. It has really good reviews online, and it does work really good. It is very, I use it today, it's very, very pigmented. The only thing, which this is any liquid eyeliner that I have an issue with that doesn't compare to the Kat Von D, is that it does bleed a little, not bleed, but the Kat Von D tip is just so fine that you can really get that just sharp line without the line thickening while you're drawing it on. This will, if you're not careful and you're not using a light hand, the line, you can get a pretty thick line if you're not being careful. I do like it though. I used it today. It worked just fine. It's very, very pigmented. I don't think it comes off because I'm pretty sure I've used it before. But it is very pigmented. Works very well. I do really, really like it. I just repurchased it because Sephora was closed and they will be closed for a couple weeks. So yeah, I got this. Really like it. It's good. So I just started using this mascara. I know NYX has a bunch of them. I just didn't want to like weed through all of them to know which one was good. And I've heard of this one before, so I bought it. It's the Girl Exhibitionist mascara, and actually I really like it. It's lasted me quite a while. My issue with drugstore mascaras is that they tend to dry up really fast. But I tried this one and I actually really do like this one a lot. It's actually really good. The brush on it is, I like these kinds of brushes. They're really thick brushes. Yeah, it's really good. I've had it for probably a little over a month now and it's still good. And I have to sneeze. It is a thing that I sneeze in every video. It's a thing now. It's because of the lights. That's how it has to be that. The lights. Yeah? Yeah? Cowboy. Anyways, where are we at? Eyes. We're still on eyes. I'm very distracted. Okay, so lashes. I do wear lashes for the most part. Especially if I have eyeliner on, I'll wear false lashes. And my favorite lashes at the time, the style and the brand. Okay, oh, my favorite lash style are the Ardell Faux Mink lashes in the style 853. They are just like, I can't even. They look kind of crazy in the packaging. They are not that dramatic on. I'm not wearing them right now. I'm wearing some Eyelure ones, which I don't have a whole lot of experience with Eyelure, so I didn't want to talk a whole lot about them. I do like them. They are very pretty, though, the ones I have on. But these are the Ardell Faux Mink in the shade, or the style 853. They're very beautiful. I love them. The band is very flexible, and they're great. They look like high-end. The ones I have on now are, I don't even think I have the packaging. Yeah, I do. Here we go. It's these ones. The Eyelure London Luxe XL Faux Mink in the style Splendour. They're actually really pretty. Very fluffy and fluttery and fun, and they're actually very comfortable too. I just don't have a whole lot of experience with Eyelure, so I didn't want to go too in depth with it. But I do like this style. We're on to lips. I think that's it. So lips, I pretty much stick to one brand, and that's NYX. NYX just has such a huge variety of stuff that you really don't have to go searching a whole lot of other places for it, because it's just, they have such a wide variety. And so my favorite lip liner by NYX is just their NYX Professional Lip Pencil. It's just a lip pencil. This one's dirty because I've had it forever. This one's in the shade Natural, I think. Yep, Natural. I like a nude lip for the most part. I don't really go crazy unless it's like again, a special occasion, which I don't have. I don't have a lot of those. And then my favorite gloss ever. He's not doing nothing. My favorite gloss ever, just in general, in luxury brands or high-end brands or drugstore, just my favorite gloss in the world is the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Madeline. It's my favorite. I have a million laying around because I'll buy one because I think I've lost it, and then I'll find 7 other of these that I've bought and left somewhere. But I am obsessed with this lip gloss. So good. It's a very, on my skin tone, it's a very like, just nude, very, it's like the color of your lips, but better. It's got a little bit of, oh, got a little bit of crusty there. Anyways, it's just a very, very pretty, like, natural color. I'm obsessed with it. I use it all the time. It lasts me forever. And also, this is very moisturizing. I have one in my bedstand over there that I'll use in the middle of the night because it's so moisturizing that it, like, keeps my lips moisturized throughout the night. And I love it so much. And I think that's it. Oh, just kidding. Setting spray. Setting spray. Yeah. Okay, my favorite setting spray, which I do, hold on, have a couple. Again, no surprise here. NYX. Setting sprays are good. The dewy one, I have the dewy and the matte one. Just depends on what mood I'm in. They're both really, really good. The mist on it isn't too intense. Sometimes you'll get a setting spray, especially from the drugstore. This happens a lot, and the mister on it is like, it's like spits chunks at your face. It's not cute. And then you have like little dots of like like moisture on your face from the sprayer, but these aren't so bad. They're pretty, oh, it's like really fine. Anyways, yeah, they're amazing. They don't smell horrible. Oh, cat! You gotta turn it on. Yeah, these ones are really good. And then another favorite is not really drugstore again, though, but it's affordable, is the Morphe one. This one I've bought a million of these. The only thing I hate about aerosol misters is they run out so fast. But they're decently cheap, so it's not that big of a deal to have to repurchase them. But they're so good. It makes me feel so moisturized when I spray these on. I think they have a matte one now and a luminous one. But I just stick to their original one because I love it. It's my favorite ever. And then I think that pretty much sums up all my favorite drugstore products. Like a full face of drugstore. And honestly, this is pretty, these aren't even just my favorite drugstore, they're like my favorite in general. Like the majority of these I just use every day. I do have favorite high-end products, but I don't buy a whole lot unless there's just something I really want. Yeah, I don't have a huge collection of high-end, just because I feel like you can find something just as good at Walmart or Ulta in their drugstore side. Anyways, I just figured I'd make a video on this dreary day when everyone is at home, and you might be working from home, or you might be sitting on your phone watching YouTube and Netflix like I am. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hope it was helpful. If you have any other ideas for videos you want me to do, please let me know. Okay, thanks. Goodbye from me and mine. Where did the other one go? Oh, they were in here. Anyways, bye-bye.